sides. And the extreme left, this man does something which is really great to learn. He integrates through data management and he converts that data into knowledge, finally wisdom, that is category. So, and such versatile mix is there. So, let's see how we will be able to conclude within 15 minutes. I am also assigned the responsibility of timekeeper. Please don't mind my running. The topic is very interesting, and I was hearing the first panel as well. That has also set a little bit of context. Driving economic growth and innovation. I think it is very, very interconnected. Innovation also supports in driving the economic growth, and we will try to do justice with the versatile perspective of these five experts around me. Related with the role of stainless steel, advantages as compared to alternate materials. Sustainability is a buzzword these days, how stainless steel fits as a sustainable. And of course, all of us are hearing very good things about stainless steel, all are right, but then there are challenges also. And then what as an industry we need to do, what is the way forward. So I will start with the transformative role of stainless steel as a catalyst of growth. Stainless steel is also a metal which goes hand in hand with the economy. I am very, very upbeat on the economy. And in fact, the growth drivers required to catapult the consumption of stainless steel in India are still at the nascent stage. In addition to the traditional applications, I think the new buzzwords, new infra, green, blue, that will also push up the stainless steel. So now I think I will start with my young friend Rajesh Sherry, representing automotive, a highly responsible company from the developmental and application orientation. So Rajeev, can you share your views about how stainless steel is transforming, what is the role and the relation with the economy?
So thank you very much, Rabaji. So basically there is a very direct correlation between GDP and the stainless steel consumption. In 1980, India and China, both the countries were at similar level of GDP. And that China, because of their investment in infrastructure, the demand for stainless steel has increased tremendously. And we are seeing the same kind of situation which is happening in India now with a lot of infrastructure related projects happening, whether they are related to government or they are related to private companies. But the stainless steel is going to have much higher usage, and because of the properties of stainless steel, its strength, its durability, its recyclability, sustainability, it is the material of choice. So in my opinion, as the economy will grow, the demand for stainless steel will increase, and for that the stainless steel players, they have a big responsibility on their shoulder, that they need to do more and more technological advancement and come out with some new grades of stainless steel which can either improve the performance or reduce the cost, so that the adoption of stainless steel will be in a bigger way.
Thank you, Rajeev. We also have another manufacturer of a different category, but before that, let me have a view of the user. So, Mr. Pai, what is your view on stainless steel and including various applications? The user perspective.
Okay, good afternoon to everyone. As a person from infrastructure industry, I see that the stainless steel has not penetrated as much as it should have. But having said that, the stainless steel is seen everywhere in the construction also. We see VAVs, we see architectural buildings. It is also in a small way, into handrails, walkways, and many other construction areas we see that, but I don't think it has penetrated as much as it has the capacity, it has the potential to do. That is what I feel. We have roads where you can be of you can do a lot of and see you can supply stainless steel structures. We have boards, we have hinges where this can be utilized. Looks like there is a lot of warm-up being done, and yes, of course, there is a great future. So that it is going to increase in future.
Thank you, Mr. Pai. I think you have given us over 3 of us and mentioned us better and also to GSSE and other associations. Great for awareness. So now, Mr. Mangal, you being specialist in on products and seamless, what are your views on the stainless steel in the emerging as well as traditional applications?
Good afternoon, everyone. I think I kind of shared the views with both Mr. Pai and Mr. Manji. It's very well said that people have not recognized the usage of stainless steel in the industry, but as a manufacturer of long products and seamless pipes and tubes, I've seen the usage of stainless steel in different industries. As an infrastructure, what I have come across about 3 to 4 years back, the government is pushing for that the coastal areas, the TMT demand should be used, should be made of stainless steel. Similarly, when you consider we are also promoting usage of stainless steel in railway sector as well. Like we all know, government has announced that the railway coaches should be made of stainless steel again. Coming to the new usage of stainless steel, which has been identified in the transportation or storage of hydrogen, which is going to be the next big thing what everyone seems to be talking about, as well as the stainless steel is used in that as well. And as far as engineering or process industry is concerned, we have definitely seen the demand.
I think all of us are in consensus that there is a great potential, but we also need to have a view. How does it compare with most usual competitors? So I think I have to know Mr. Raj with your expertise. So where do you think that stainless steel because of its unique properties it may not be cost effective when you talk about only MX, but when you consider
पहले 33 था 44 किया
then the things change. So as a user, as a designer, as an innovator, what are your views about stainless steel as compared to other
24
metals?
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm an engineering consultant into construction
Thanks a lot.
sector. And as my introduction, you've learned that I'm into conservation of heritage structures also. When we talk of a structure that is 100 years old, 200 years old, 300 years old, can we build today something that can last for the same number of years? The answer is yes, if we consider stainless steel. And the immediate increase in the cost year on year is clearly nullified. So any structures that are around the coastal areas, 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers from the coast, India has more than 7,000 kilometers of coast. I believe the structures which are of public importance, more than 100 years, 200 years, stainless steel becomes almost ineffective. That's my view.
So thank you for this sensitization. I hope everybody feels like the influencers. I would like to have views of the manufacturers because this is a challenge which delays the adaptability of stainless steel. Because specifically in the government procurement, capex, that L1 becomes a critical factor. So any views on this? What we should go and how to take it forward?
I'm sorry, can you please just
How to bridge this challenge of initial heavy investment versus consideration of like saying costing. What as a manufacturer we are doing and what we should do.
I think one major factor which will play a role because stainless steel inherently has those properties which increases the life expectancy. So when the material is basically you don't have to replenish or recycle the material or into something new, so you have consider that. But yes, to answer the question of initial investment, since the major nickel alloys and certain ferros are present in the stainless steel, that cost is going to come. As an industry, what we can do is have more economies of scale in order to bring down the cost, have more skilled labor, or move towards a little more of automation, which can bring the cost down, which can be passed on to the consumers.
Thank you, Mr. Mangal. I saw your presentation in the morning. You were there. Practically, this is the part of
Wait कर लो slowly.
So you would have faced the challenges even more.
Wait कर लो.
Would you like to give your views on how you handle the challenges wherein LCC gets ignored and the initial cost becomes a hurdle in production?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's a very relevant question that all of us know the benefits of stainless steel, and mostly the competing material with stainless steel is either carbon steel or aluminium or galvanized steel. But if we see the properties of stainless steel, it has a lot of advantages over its competing material. So for example, the corrosion resistance of stainless steel, which makes us apart from the competing material. And in terms of strength and durability, also stainless steel is a much better choice. Stainless steel for aesthetic application also has a
ये over दिख रहा है मेरे को यहाँ पे.
You can using it for either for architectural application or somewhere where we require very good looking material. Stainless steel has definitely much better properties. When we come to hygiene and for food and pharma industries, again stainless steel has no match with other materials. Similarly, if we see the recyclability of stainless steel, it is again, stainless steel is something which is 100% recyclable. So it can be produced almost 100% of the recycling material. We don't have motivation of taking the iron ore and coal and everything. Definitely stainless steel has a much better property. When we compare with carbon steel, for example, where it is cheaper in the beginning to buy, but ultimately when we have to do the maintenance and the corrosion problem will come, then we have to replace it. If we see the aluminium is again a good choice wherever lightweighting is required. But in many of the aluminium, they are not getting the strength property, the strength which we require, that is not available in aluminium. And then if we compare with galvanized steel, again galvanized steel is okay in the first few years, but after that there will be some scratches and the corrosion is going to start. So in my opinion, stainless steel is a much better choice, and when users are considering between different competing materials, I think they should not consider only the initial investment. They have to consider what is the initial cost, what is the maintenance cost, what is the repair cost, and in case we have to do the maintenance, if we have to stop the operation, in that case how much is the loss to us, and also once the life cycle is over, then recycling of stainless steel, you get much better revenue as compared to all other competing materials. So in all ways, I feel stainless steel is a much better choice, and all the end users, they should consider it while selecting the material.
Thank you, Rajiv. Mr. Pai, you have experience of plant equipment. You have seen the challenges of maintenance. You have seen the corrosion challenges. And interestingly, you have very rich experience of procurement. So, when you decide, there must be certain reasons of not deciding, and there must be certain perceptions also. Would you like to give your perspective so that we learn out of it and try to address it?
Right. I'll start like this. At least we know who will run the cat. Our bells are okay. So the point is, where is the cat? So whatever points you just now said, that stainless steel, why it is superior than its brother, mild steel or any other metal, then is there a case study like that to prove that yes, this is superior than MS compared to the comparison should be in monetary terms. Unless you tell the user that you are going to save so much, probably it will not be taken as an alternative. So
you have the end clients, like for us the clients are national highways, port authorities, MSRDC, MMRDA, all these people, they are the clients who own the project, and we are the contractors who do the project. So if you ask me as a contractor, would you like to buy stainless steel in place of, yes, if it is available at the same price, I would, because it gives that quality. But it is not so. It is definitely, it is possible. Probably 2 times, 6 times, 10 times, different values. So when do we strike the balance? How to convince them? Yes. So what is required here is that yes, if you use stainless steel, probably the lifespan of this structure is going to be 10 times more than what you use if you use mild steel or TMT. TMT just now, Ms. Mala was mentioning, yes, we are interested in using rebars, SS rebars in place of TMT. But how to project it this way that it is better in terms of life, in terms of motion, that it is, and of course, you just mentioned about equipment maintenance and all that. Yes, when we do the maintenance of the equipment, we do the replacement of a lot of parts. So how this stainless steel is going to help the replacement of parts? Maybe, if you use normal, it is every month you have to the wire and tie so that it has to be replaced every 6 months. If you use SS, probably it will be replaced after 3 years. Then of course, yes, then you can just put it on the paper saying that the cost 6 months into 6 times, and this is 1 time in 3 years. So probably if the cost is double, even if it is 4 times, probably this will work out. So this is the case study that, everyone here, including us, we have to do this and project it to the end customers so that it is accepted widely, and then of course we can go ahead and do it. Thank you, Mr. Pai. So I think it's a good learning for us. I have 4 small comments on this. First is the perception. We need to correct the perception that it is not 3 times, 4 times, 6 times, 10 times. So we have to speak about the life cycle costing. So this is more for the manufacturer fraternity. Another thing what I have realized is that the learning curve of adoption in India perhaps is faster than the other countries in case of GSSE. And I tell you how. 25 years back, 80% of
India's stainless steel consumption was in kitchen here. 25 years later, today, this balance 20% has become 65% plus, and this 20% others category is 65% includes architecture building construction, currently limited to very limited structural applications and few decorative and aesthetics. Looking into the coastal line, which till a month back used to be 7,500 kilometers, government has remeasured it. It is now 11,098 kilometers. So the challenge increases. So adoption of stainless steel in other applications has grown very fast, and applications like blue economy, which perhaps matter of just 2 to 5 years, it will be another feature. We have a challenge, Mr. Pai and Mr. Rainer. When we talk about a alternate life of 100 years, so वो बोलते हैं चाहिए, they say that demonstrated. So there perhaps, when I don't know whether it is a specialization, and it is ending question to you. The technology should be able to have a simulation and predictive analysis based on the case studies and successes of companies like Automotive and other companies in Japan, Korea, and Europe. Maybe this can help us in convincing the influencers to decide in favor of stainless steel.
I feel like when we're trying to improve any technology, it makes sense to measure
urban improvements, actually quantifies the current scholars of policy improvements, sensors inside, asking businesses to do the calculations. I think we must leverage the trade rate space sector of the country of India because in a way less cost than we're trying to see the thermal emissions or CO2 emissions from plants. And the great thing about using the space industry is not only you can justify the footprint of the improvements of your plant, you can also look at foreign plants and have some sort of benchmark.
Thank you, Sven. You will be the curiosity. I will come back to you. I think so far we have been able to establish that superiority of stainless steel over others. I think we are not debating. We have also, I think, agreed from our perspective. Yes, we need to think about OPEX also. That means we are a little bit inclined towards the life cycle costing. And you just pointed out carbon neutrality emission. I would like to go to the larger word sustainability, which is loosely associated with carbon neutrality. To me, if we look at the 17 UN SDGs, or for that matter, even 6 Indian economic goals, to me, the meaning of sustainability is much, much larger than only carbon neutrality. I feel that sustainability has some three pillars, three P's. Emission of equipment, fire resistant, crash resistant, aesthetics and all. Which, of course, planet friendly, circularity, carbon recyclability, and of course, it should be comparative friendly also. So, resale value, life cycle costing. If we compare the growth of stainless steel in the world in the last 40 years, as compared to its 5 competitors, aluminium, steel, zinc, it is double than the next competitor, which is carbon steel. So I would like to have views looking into this sustainability perspective. 3 P's. What are your views about stainless steel? Director sir, I will start with you.
Before I can go to this question, I would like to slightly talk more because we have been doing structures with stainless steel reinforcement on and off. In last 5 years, we did 2 in Mumbai. And the cost of a residential building is just about 200 rupees to 300 rupees per square foot extra. You all must have read that just last week, there was an apartment block bought at 260 crores. So that is 2,50,000 Indian rupees per square foot. And that's on Worli Sea Face. If they have not used stainless steel, I know that building is coming to me for repairs in the next 25 years. Why did they not use stainless steel? Just 200 to 300 rupees a square foot is nothing. India is a progressive country. All the metro structures. How difficult it is going to be when the metro travels over a bridge. At least 25 locations in Mumbai, there is a road bridge over which the metro bridge goes diagonally opposite. It's extremely difficult going to be when it comes to repairs. The system of access is going to be extremely difficult. My country have 120 years of life, service-free life or trouble-free life, if I can call it. So in both these structures, one of the structures was governor's residence. So it had a lot of limelight and a lot of attention from the government. We were asked to give 120 years of trouble-free life calculations. We were able to do it, and they were vetted by one of the premier institutions in the city today, engineering institution, and it was accepted. So I personally believe, sir, stainless steel is a material which is greatly sustainable, and for a progressing country like India, we really do not have an option but to go for it. Basically for the important structures initially, and later on for practically all the structures. World cannot afford corrosion. That would be my take on
Like I saw when I hear such things, it is music to my ears right away. And I recommend him to be part of the stainless today. Speak his experiences about stainless steel. You would have heard a beautiful magazine. They have created stainless today. So I would recommend such people to give their views on that. When I will come to you now, your little complex area of specialization. 2 points. Yes, you raised the word emission also, and you raised the word emission also, and you little bit touched upon it. But from the recyclability, durability, life cycle value, how does the stainless steel contribute to the economy, and how the transparent emission benchmarks, you have to elaborate a little more, can help the Indian producers. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the question. And yes, it all boils down to the life cycle of stuff. As you said before, if you don't have to worry about pollution, the building will last much longer than whatever infrastructure. And I don't know when I see how you manufacture all the things you produce, which is already happened, and getting back to the electric arc furnace, smelting it again, and just for it to be rolling afterwards. And just like to keep in mind that if you can see the heat emissions from space, think about it, what a huge waste of energy is. So if you must smelt it only once, it obviously is more sustainable.
When you respond to the teaser ads, they prompt us to know more about what you do, and which is a little complex. I will suggest that you circulate some articles, some more details among us, because we need to know more how you can contribute to Indian stainless steel manufacturers. We are all very upbeat about stainless steel. Economy linked, wonderful growth, opportunities. Even the per capita is also an opportunity for us. But the life cannot be so simple and good. So we'll come to now the challenges part, what stainless steel faces. I would like to divide into 2 parts. One is related with external environment, and another is related with ecosystem within the country. So first, Mr. Pankaj, मैं आपके पास आऊँगा. I think after 2018 Section 3(2) USA, world has become from globalization to nationalization, and China factor plays a vital role. Your views on China factor?
Yes, so definitely the China factor is there and cannot be ignored. That mostly is due to we need to understand that China produces stainless steel, which is 5 times more than what India does. So definitely when you are producing that much quantity, you need to sell, and you need to sell everywhere, all over the world. But what our government has done and what the players in stainless steel industry have been asking the government to do to promote nationalization, and is one of the factors Make in India. Definitely there has been a push for Make in India. Then the government has been carried off in putting anti-dumping duties on China. We have ourselves faced that when we had ventured out into seamless pipe-centric production. India used to import a lot of seamless pipes from China. Although there were manufacturing capacities set up in India, and they were operating at minimum 20% of their capacity. But after imposing the duties, all the capacity utilization has gone up to 80 to 85%. So that's a good thing. Also, there has been standardization support from the government by implementing BIS. That has also helped in Indian manufacturers. The China factor cannot be ignored, but at the same time, like I said, everyone has been fighting for nationalization, all countries, all over the world. So that has helped India. Also, the China plus one policy all over the world has helped India export stainless steel, because still the amount of stainless steel that India produces, it itself consumes very less of it. So directly, indirectly, a lot of stainless steel is exported, and Indian manufacturers have benefited with the China plus one policy.
I would add to, I fully agree with you, but I would like to add a great perspective to this. You would have heard some numbers in the presentation of Mr. Krishnamurthy, President ISLA, and also Mr. Chandra also reported some numbers. In India, the capacity to produce stainless steel is about 7.5 million tons, long and flat together. And last year, the consumption was about 4.85 million tons, and out of which I think around 1.25 million tons was import, and out of which about 70% was China or Chinese origin material from other countries. So when I use the word import, you will not hear any other country's name other than China, because they are respectable and they behave responsibly. The challenge here is that China is known to provide non-WTO compliant subsidies, and again, when we are in stainless steel fraternity, sometimes हमें hint आ जाता है ये हमारे साथ ही क्यों हो रहा है. Sometimes start feeling that why it is happening only with stainless steel. So actually it is not true. This guilt sort of thing is related with any product you name, any product, because most probably more than 95% of the products China will be having the capacity more than 50% to produce that product. It is right from our Ganeshi who are imported. Modi ji referred to that. Oil is electrical good, you name it, and it is there. And all producing countries in the world, when I use the word producing any product, they have imposed level playing field or barriers on China, which unfortunately is not there in India. India is the only country with zero tariff barriers. So with this uncertainty, and also, sir, I am coming to you, with this uncertainty and also the world becoming VUCA, the black swans used to be very rare, but in the last 4 or 5 years, we have seen many black swans. I will call Section 232 a black swan, I will call Russia-Ukraine a black swan, I will call COVID a black swan. So that means the VUCA world has become super VUCA, but we have to do the sourcing. We have to manage the inventory. How do we ensure as manufacturers and also the users who also have to keep the inventory that we can mitigate over this to some extent?
This is really a good question. I will try to answer it in a couple of steps. So, first things first, you must consume information to make decisions, right? And it hasn't been changed. Since 20 years, it's all basically reading information in form of PDF, in form of opinion, WhatsApp group chat I've heard nowadays. And it's only limited to your closer range. And we observe that if you measure the activities of the steel plants, you get the wisdom of the production plant. So, you know it best, right? Producing on stock is way too capital expensive, so that the cost of money just making your inventory is just as affordable, and also if it's not enough, you're leaving money on the table. So each and every production plan must be really well informed and know what the market within the next business period is demanding from you. So if you measure all, if you know what each and every production plan is thinking and how it turns it into action in terms of which capacity the oven is currently operating at, you get a wisdom of the mean production plan within an area, and it must include some sort of common sense where the market is going. So you must leverage the data without outside of your horizon.
Yes, well, I will not repeat what I said earlier. You make it more inquisitiveness. Yes, please.
Mr. just one question. Like your AI will tell us which plant is producing how much and what are its emission norms and all that. But this AI can also tell us what is the position of raw materials for them.
So see, we must differentiate between measurements and what we do with the data afterwards. In terms of pollution, in terms of activity measurements, there is no AI involved because there's no need for AI to compute some KPI out of any match, right? But we've learned it the hard way. The industry is not interested in the set-level industry outcome. And not some more index. There are plenty of indexes out there. When we look at the common indexes, it was not enough data for AI to work because there were all some sort of correlated. This is why you purchase only a few reports and all reports because it's always correlated. So you need all data which is provided by the satellite. So it's 100 gigabytes of data each and every day coming in from each sub-segment within the plant. So hot rolling mill, single plant, oven, so on. And they all operate at different paces within the plant and when you compare different operators. So the AI is finally enough data to be trained on any given labor. And this is actually the point where AI comes into place when it's about what does it actually mean, where is the pattern.
Well, I would personally like to learn more from you. Thank you for these insights. But few things are new to us. Perhaps we are coming from a little different world. May not be very different, but for my world. So we will learn separately. Well, yes, the challenges can be divided into two. One was the external environment, geopolitical, macroeconomy, all those things. We will come to the solution more later. I would like to have some views on a very typical situation. You know, the product which companies like me, automotive, Mangalamli, it is not the same what a consumer either uses or experiences. Uses means maybe vision wear, get there. Experience means maybe going to the mall, trains, airports. So there is a huge ecosystem in between which consists of processors, OEMs, distributors, fabricators, retailers, huge, and unfortunately, maybe more than 70% of them is MSME. Micro, small, medium enterprise based on a particular definition of Indian government. And MSME, by definition, somehow in certain area is a supply inefficient, size, scales. So I think the ownership is on perhaps for people and specifically manufacturers who are the leaders. How do we ensure that each link of this ecosystem becomes capable and to do justice to the product which we make? And what the product we make, we know we are into nuclear application, we are into Chandrayaan, so quality is not a point of discussion. What product, what we make gets rightly converted into a good consumer experience. I am talking about skilling part. I will start with you being the producer, then maybe Rajiv, you, and then the challenges because of this thing happening or how much happening on the user perspective.
Yes, I think that's rightly said that as producers we need to create awareness. I think the awareness of stainless steel should increase. I honestly feel that forums like this or other forums or advertisement or whatever promotes stainless steel, education needs to be there. The primary problem what you can face as an MSME while using stainless steel would be of skilling, like of how to deal with the material or to know the properties of the stainless steel and how to use the material. So any effort towards promoting education, promoting stainless steel in the education sector also, where basically the engineers or the people coming out of college are also shown that stainless steel is a field where they can use their expertise is something that is much needed.
Rajiv, I think auto-requirement taking lead in creating awareness and things like that. Any your experiences?
Yes, so definitely the challenge, one of the big challenge that end user industry is facing about the price stability of the stainless steel. Because prices of stainless steel depends quite a lot on the amount of nickel, amount of molybdenum in the alloying element. And various types times when, like for the projects, it is very difficult to forecast that if I am taking a order today, I can buy material after 6 months, then how it is going to impact the entire project costing for me. So from automotive side and of course I think from general side also, there are a lot of innovations and new developments which are taking place, that how do we get better corrosion resistance, better mechanical properties, but at the same time we reduce dependence on nickel and molybdenum, for example, which are the major 80% of the cost of stainless steel is coming from these two elements. So just to give an example, like 316L is a very common grade of stainless steel. Autocompo, they have developed a grade of 316 plus. In terms of corrosion resistance, in terms of mechanical properties, it is similar or better. But because of lower amount of nickel and lower amount of molybdenum, and to compensate it by nitrogen, it is much better economical option. And at the same time, the price stability is also much superior because of lower alloy element. Similarly, for 304L grade, there is an alternative available called 4622. Again, it is a nickel-free material, but in terms of corrosion resistance and properties, it is even better. So this kind of awareness, which is a responsibility of stainless steel manufacturer, also discuss with the end users that how they can increase the usage of stainless steel, keeping the cost low and increase the application. Recently, for nickel alloy 625, which is again a very expensive material, Autocompo and Alima jointly a new grade was developed called Sanico 35, and the cost of this material is at least 25 to 30% cheaper than 625 or 6276. But in terms of performance, it is very similar. So I'm not saying that blindly we can replace each and every place wherever people are using some other grade. But this kind of work, manufacturers and industry, they have to take the lead by doing more R&D, more innovation, and giving customers more value for the money.
Thank you, Rajiv, for touching upon the innovation part in the manufacturer too, and also the creating awareness. Now coming back to the skilling part, do you face any challenges because of the limitation in the skill level of the people to handle stainless steel?
Not really. I am from the construction industry, and I am specifically talking of using stainless steel rebars. There is no specific or special requirements of training that is needed to the laborers in using stainless steel. The only challenge we faced whenever we have used stainless steel is the inconsistency of supply. We need to plan the supplies in advance, and the contract is never that planned. So it delays the project sometimes, A specific diameter, circular diameter is not available. Now can we have a substitute? That is the challenge that we face, but otherwise training is certainly not a challenge. Another thing is I would want this kind of information which Mr. Shiri was sharing just now with us, at least share it with the construction industry consultants like us. We would definitely like to use the material more and more. Because no one can deny that stainless steel. See, when we use it as a rebar, I'm not trying to use the weight to strength ratio because it is superior. No, I'm using its anti-corrosive or corrosion resistance. So when I'm talking of any industry that is producing chlorine-related material, chlorides, salt, which does not affect concrete, but it affects the reinforcement. In all those industries, we consultants will be freely using stainless steel rebars as compared to MS, because MS is the best of concretes in these kind of industries does not last beyond 5 to 10 years. So I think more information sharing and more special training is required as far as the industry that I am talking of.
Thank you, sir. It's heartening to know that in case of long products, stainless steel adoption has got less skill-related challenges. Any experience you have on the flat products, because it has a lot of fabrication aspect related with it. Right. I totally agree with the writers of what you said. For the rebars, there is no skills required. It is as good as EMP, and then even stainless steel binding wires are also available. So, but he said that we don't have a plan, but normally we have a plan, but the plans are mostly dynamic. It depends on a lot of factors like clients, it is always dynamic. Due to that, when there is a requirement, and if it is urgent, and if the industry is not able to get to it, then we have to find out other options because the project cannot stop. Project has to continue. I'll give you a small example. We had a project here in Maldives. There was a huge quantity of stainless steel cast to be used. 3,000 tons was the quantity. And first we applied from India because India cooperated, India funded project. And we found that we are not able to supply to the site the requirement as they require every month. So we had to talk to the clients and consultants that it changed to EMT again. So we were able to use about only 500 tons of stainless steel and balance converted to EMT. It is a reverse case of what you would otherwise do. Okay. And again, like you said, for the structures, we have a bad experience again. I mean, which is going on. You have supplied, you have given us the offer for the supply of material, stainless steel material, but then there has to be somebody who wants to do the fabrication, and then we have to send it to the site. We are struggling there. We don't have many fabricators who can give a good quality product, which is of international standards. And this is where I think the industry has to look into, and then you have your education centers, GSSE and all those things. I don't know why there are not many fabricators who are capable of fabricating the structures which are of national quality. Having said that, in NS, yes, we have a lot of fabricators. Everywhere, you can follow the fabricators, you can do very good stuff, but not in, because the weldability of stainless steel is different from that of this. We are struggling. We have given us an offer for material, we are not able to convert it into a structure and make it. That is a relevant point. Where, so skilling is definitely which you will have to take it up. The industry has to take it up because it is a downstream for your products. That is what I think. Yeah.
There is, thanks for giving me that minute extra. One of the world projects that was recently constructed was the Prabhu Shriram temple at Ayodhya. It is supposed to be designed for 1,000 years of durability, and they have not used any reinforcement. They have considered stainless steel as a reinforcement and reduced the overall project cost. Because cost was not a criteria there. The only criteria was 1,000 years of
सर के पीछे सामान रख रहा वो हिल रहा था
could the stainless steel lobby have reached at the right time and said, okay, do not use my steel because I'm not sure of it lasting for 1,000 years, but here you do. This is stainless steel, this is the product we have, and this is where those are the kind of projects I believe, and that was a world highlight. So world could have been a good advertisement also. Sorry.
Perfectly okay. That when you said that there are limited challenges on the scaling part of long, it was a little surprise for me when you said that there are challenges. I fully agree with you, sir. And in fact, I would like to give a small perspective here. It was touched upon by Mr. Jindal in the morning. We recognize it that there is a very big issue of scaling, really very big issue, because it is different, it is too fragmented, it is new. So at Jindal Stainless, because apart from moderator, I also represent Jindal Stainless. So at Jindal Stainless, we recognize it about 4-5 years back. We have created a initiative which is called the Stainless Academy. In the last 5 years, we have trained more than 50,000 roadside fabricators, and I offer to the construction and infra industry that we can have dedicated demand related training programs on fabrication skills of stainless steel. So this is a standing offer. We have already co-created certain qualification packs. The first one was the normal decorative products fabrication like street furniture and all. Second was the qualification plan for the kitchenware industry, which is still the largest single segment. And the third, which has been approved by NCVT a couple of months back, is heavy fabrication related with EU, girders and things like that. So, and also recently, it has just concluded, we have hired one of the big four. We have done a national-wide survey on TNA, covering number one academia, engineering, polytechnic, and ITIs. Number two, independent fabricators, including people who work for you. And number three, the MSMEs or the employers with it. So we are completely dedicated, and I will invite all of you to please visit our stall. I will speak more about it there. So in this theme of our discussion, yeah, please.
Like it is said that whatever I need to learn in my life, I learned in kindergarten. So similar thing here. What probably you have to do is just an advice.
कट दे तो मैं इन दोनों को
What probably you have to do is the ITI, Industrial Training Institute, where the welding training is given for the MS material, where probably you will have to introduce that. That is the kindergarten. So from that, if these people come to your education centers and get proper training, probably they will get the certified, they will work as certified vendors. This is advice.
Absolutely right. So here we will go to overshoot per minutes.
पीछे दिक्कत है
Okay. Okay. A little detail. We have signed a MOU with
पानी
ITI
केरल तक
Transport
आप टेबल पे मारो
for a 155 hours course. It is an add-on in the fitter
काट
segment
देना तीन को
of
लोअर
the vendor. Because fitter is 2 years. We are ensuring that the initial year they will be getting to know how steel welding and acclimatization of the stainless steel or welding is going to start this year. In 100% of the polytechnics in Haryana and Odisha, totaling 75, stainless steel course has been introduced in the third semester as compulsory and in the fifth semester as optional, with a employability commitment from General Stainless from the polytechnics around our plants. So full agreement, sir. We want to start from ITI, and the degree of skill will change depending on the academic institution. So we are doing that. So in this theme, we talked about the challenges. I believe that challenges are always there, but we are the ways. Now what needs to be done? We should come out with some way forward, some commitment. Few commitments we have taken as manufacturers,
सब जगह बात करे जाना
right? Right, Rajiv? Few commitments from manufacturers side, few commitments from your side, sir, and you will tell us what needs taking place, and we will do that. What industry should do, specifically on digitalization and artificial intelligence, we would like to give some advice to Indian domestic industry. And I say domestic industry, then it includes all the things, right from manufacturers like us to people like that, related with IM 2.0, digitalization, AI, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
So first of all, I think India is already on the right track. So you see, in Europe there is the AI Act, so everybody's a little bit afraid of AI. And also when we start to talk about like, the data sources that we mentioned, satellite data, it's all kind of new. In India, it's a totally different experience for us. We are comfortable with the topics we would like to dive into. And I'd like to share a rather complex thought by digitalization matters. So coming from a Swiss financial country, for me it's clear that price volatility comes from disagreement on information, on pricing. So if everybody will have the same information, the price would be more or less linear in any commodity, which leads to the only person who likes volatile prices. The only people who like volatile prices are well-informed person. And therefore you need a way to get back to the lowest energy state possible where there's no volatility in the market at all, because this proves that everybody is the equal amount of information is bringing maximum amount of information. And I think India is the second biggest steel nation in the world and really contribute to where the market is going, especially with these exogenous factors like the government wanting you to produce or double your output within 5 years. This is crazy. The US, Texas, CBAM, there are so many disruptions. But if you manage it right, you can come into a position of strength after all. This is what I've experienced in a short period of time I've been here in India.
Well, I think that Indian industry are quite sensitive and aggressive in adopting the latest IL 2.0 and the words you normally use. So you will have a good experience when you talk to the Indian manufacturer, but with the right set of people.
तो हिल रहा साइड हिल रहा है तभी तो
I believe that to mitigate the challenges and to leverage the opportunities, there is a shared responsibility. And when I say shared, I think three sets of people, groups are responsible. One, of course, the industry,
ट्रेनिंग दे रहा था ना इधर
including everybody. Then, of course, the government, and even the institutions. And like is the like GSSE, they are also institutions, and magazines and influencers. They are very important. Since we are running short of time and few minutes required for Q&A, quick 1 minute each on who has to do what. Can we do something? What we expect? Just a quick 1 minute each. Yeah, we'll start from you.
Alright,
One minute. Sorry.
what will maximum? Alright, so it is aim for the low hanging fruits, work on the sustainability thing, because it's so easy after all. I mean, you just must justify the proofs steady. This is all the Western world is asking for. And you can definitely do it. And if you do it right, you can get an edge and be ahead of everybody else in terms of your foreign countries.
Thank you. Yeah,
Okay, so 1 quick minute. So from manufacturer side, I will again emphasize innovation and R&D and how to make our product more sustainable, more green. I think that is a continuous focus. From government, we require policy support, and in case manufacturers, they have to invest more in such facility, what kind of offsets or what kind of incentives can be given so that more and more manufacturers can be encouraged to improve their carbon footprint. And especially in the government procurement, for example, they can give preference to the people who have less low carbon footprint. From association and from other institutions like ESTA, means associations, I think from their side, organizing such events are very useful where we have good networking and discuss and get new ideas. And between a good collaboration and good networking, I think we can organize some more training programs and some knowledge sharing session which can really help customers to understand that what is there in the market, what is coming new, and how, what kind of better solution we can get it from the manufacturers.
Thank you, Rajiv. Vaishal.
As I already said, I think the industry has to take everybody along, the consultants, designers, and users. And I think there is a bright future here in all the industries, all the sectors of usage. I just wish all the best to the stainless steel industry.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if rebars, stainless steel reinforcement is an item in CPWD schedule of rates. If it is not there, it is high time it is there, because if it's there in the schedule of rates, it's easier for the consultants to use it, and there would be an increased tendency to specify, because there's so many important structures that are being constructed, the jetties particularly. If the jetties are constructed in stainless steel, they will clear archaeologically, things like that. So that would be my statement. Of course, all other things are very welcome, and I'm always available, because I believe this is a material which will give, when we talk of strong India and sustainable India, this is a material naturally, because we have been spending, the world is spending crores and crores of rupees on trillions of dollars. Even the developed nation like US and Europe, they are spending a lot on corrosion treatments and aggressive corrosions. So this is the solution.
We agree with you, sir. In addition to issues, I think standards, rules, manuals, that is also important. To add something to this community.
No, I think I fully agree with what Mr. Raju said from the producer side. Just to add that we already, but in the smaller scale, have started recruiting from the ITIs to promote more of that traditional coated environment in the stainless steel industries. We also want to educate the process industry manufacturers the uses of stainless steel.
Thank you. I also get 1 minute on this. A bit to this. I think the national stainless steel policy that should address these all challenges, for which we are supporting and of course along from PA we are providing the input. And we are also doing, in the morning you would have heard Dr. Mudali Kamachi, we are in the process of creating a policy to control and manage the corrosion, and all of us know a lot about corrosion. Just to give a small perspective, the 4% erosion of economy due to corrosion, this 4% innocuous number is actually gets translated into 12 lakh crore rupees in India, which is equal to our infra budget of FY25. This is equal to $5 trillion at the world level, which is equal to World Germany, and it is equal to $1 billion at USA level, which is equal to 3 apples. So that is a menace the corrosion creates. So I think industry is doing well. Superiority of stainless steel is well established. Lots of opportunities, but lots of challenges, and we have to work together. Instead of looking at the government, the industry needs to take lead and handhold with the government so that government helps us back. With this note, I have overshot, sorry for my poor time management, but you gave us 15 minutes less. So open to Q&A now, if they allow, or offline. I am there today and tomorrow. Yes, sir.
I am Rajiv Thakur from Fortran Institute, Mumbai. It's not a question, rather it's my concern, and I would like to have the views from great people like Mr. Sharma, Mr. Rajiv, and also AI expert. As you know, the total stainless steel globally is 63 million ton, and out of 63 million ton, 40 million ton itself is from China. And India is touching about 8 million ton capacity. Utilization is only to the extent of 4.5 or maximum 5 million ton. Our steel policy says that by 2030, we'll be touching 13 million ton. Right now, our capacity is 170 million ton, and out of 170 million ton, 7 million ton is only stainless steel. So you can see the huge gap. My concept or my thinking about this is that the steel usage will only be increased if the gap between mild steel and stainless steel is reduced. Right now the mild steel is 50 rupees a kg, the stainless steel is 200 rupees a kg. So now it's up to the steel manufacturer to decide and keep this view in mind that the steel gap or the price gap should be reduced so that all the prudent people should do a cost benefit analysis before using steel. Thank you.
Very small, I don't disagree with you. Worldwide, China and India, stainless steel by volume is about 3%. It's very interesting number. So that means everywhere, practically, by volume, stainless steel versus steel is similar. Right, sir? Reducing the price is the easiest thing to be said, sir. There are lots of public listed companies having even the EBITDA around 12, 13, 14%, PBT around 4, 5, 6%, and all these companies, whether steel or stainless steel, they are very efficient. And there is a statement that we are not less than any world standard efficient plant within the walls of the factory. Two cost components, cost of logistics and cost of capital. Both are improving, both have been recognized, makes the Make in India product. I have not used the word stainless steel, sir. It makes Make in India product less competitive by 10 to 12%. So there are typical challenges. Full agreement with you, ideally speaking, lower the cost, more the adaptability, but a little pragmatism and a little short term thoughts are little different, but inclusive in agreement, sir.
Sir, I would see no point pushing the technology or the manufacturers beyond a point to reduce the cost. If you're talking of just 100 rupees a kg difference, and a residential building will have 3 to 4 kg per square foot, that's about 300, 400 rupees a square foot cost. If you change from Botacino to Safari, these are two different types of Italian marble, the cost difference is 500 rupees a square foot. What I'm talking of, it's a mindset of the end user or the client that is needed to be changed. If there is corrosion, he will have to rip off the richest of the marble that is going to put on it. I believe the consultants must have the conviction first that we want your structure to last. Bridges which are coming for restoration in less than 5 years, 10 years. What does it talk? Let's leave aside corruption, sir. But the quality, the speed at which the government wants the deliveries, the quality is definitely suffering at many places. And stainless steel can come to the rescue for longevity of the structure. This is my conviction, sir. And we can chat more, because Shreya is already saying.
Shreya, one question from you.
You should take a last question, please.
Sorry. Thank you. I'm Ram, stainless steel consultant. So, from MSME point of view, I think we talked about educating. One very important link in the landscape of the supply chain are the distributors. Not every MSME, in fact, more than 70% of MSMEs who may be buying less than 5 tons can directly buy from Jindal or other banks. So we need to educate the distributors also, upgrade their skill levels in terms of technology, understanding of grades, innovations versus end applications, types of finishers used properly. So a number of things, which probably we are all trying to do in the stainless steel segment. But I think that is one link which needs to be educated quite a bit. Because just one more addition to the 100-year point which both of you made. So stainless steel was discovered in 1913. Now 110 years passed, and there are many examples even in the architectural application. Chrysler Tower was shown this morning by Rajamani, and that alone is 90 years plus. There are lots of case studies, and I think if I understand correct, Rajiv, the Sheffield facility where Mr. Clearly built the stainless steel is now owned by Automotive, isn't it? So there is definitely data available which probably needs to be collated and to prove to the industry, which I think Sir was asking about 100 years thing. So these are the 2 points I just want to make. And the blood in us is all stainless steel, so we are free to contribute whatever we can. Thank you.
Laws of community health, you have raised a very valid point. We are in the process of developing the course contents for various stakeholders, and very honestly, we are not considered the distributor. focusing more on the people who render stainless steel in the fabrication form and things like that. I will need your advice on co-creating the contents. I fully agree that distributors also need to be equally aware and educated about various aspects, including what Rajiv said.